So let's begin. Womb healing is actually generational healing. But before we go to that, before we see the magic of how womb healing is generational healing, I would first want to make you familiar with the basic topic. What is the womb, right? So what I want you all to do is take your right hand and put it below your navel. Take your right hand and put it below your navel. Try and keep it there throughout the session, but just for at least for now, connect. That is where your womb resides. And for a lot of us, we know how the stomach looks, we know how our lungs look, our liver looks, but this is one organ, our internal organ. Yes, it belongs to us. It's only there in a woman. Women have been made to feel ashamed of it. But as you would go ahead, you would see that how powerful this one organ which resides within us is, and how we are not only connected with ourselves and our internal Shakti because of it, how we are connected with the Shakti and the power of nature, of earth, and in fact of the universe with that one portal, that womb which resides within us. So yes, take your right hand and connect with the womb right below your navel. Maybe if you wish, we can breathe a little also before we go ahead, because we are going to share some powerful information over here. So while your hand resides there, while your hand is touching the area below your navel, visualize the first picture that we saw over here, which is this beautiful womb. This is how it looks like, filled with flowers and the chirp of the birds right below your navel. If you wish, you can close your eyes for a few seconds as you create that connection and breathe in slowly, as if today you are ready to connect with that internal portal of opportunities and your own internal garden. Yes, that beautiful area below your navel. That is where our power resides, and that is what the womb is. Okay, so also one more thing that I would like to share over here is that in this work, or in fact in any work that I do, I bring together the divine wisdom of neuro-linguistic programming, which is that how do we connect with our divine power through our senses, the way we see, what we speak, what we hear, what we touch, as well as various other information that I have. Like here, you would see me using numerology beautifully to empower you as well and to customize what I have to offer further for that as well. So if in a webinar, if in this masterclass, I give certain prompts for you to write something or to vibe with something by saying yes or no, or just seeing every picture here, every music that I have put in this particular masterclass is very important. It speaks to our subconscious mind. So the best would be to ask questions, to stay interactive. And if you see any picture, ensure that you see it. I mean, it just doesn't pass by, but you really see it. It's very important to give those subliminal messages to your brain. So womb healing is actually a generational healing. When a woman decides to connect with her womb and to do the work that we are going to begin today, you are not only connecting with your own womb or healing your own womb, you are actually healing for your generations which have gone and the generations which are to come through you. And you know what? There is an entire science to it. It is said, and science has seen, that before we were conceived, we existed in part as an egg in our mother's ovary. Okay, and all the eggs of a woman will ever carry from in her ovary while she is in her 4-month-old fetus in the womb of her mother. So which means that while your mother was in her mother's womb, you had been incepted. Yes, you had an existence. You were there in the form of eggs while your mother was in her mother's womb, which means your grandmother's womb. And this information you can take back to as many generations far back as possible, because your grandmother was also in her mother's womb at some point, who was in their mother's womb at some point. So, which is why in my work, I have realized that if one woman takes that step to break the pattern and do the work that we are doing today, they are working not just for themselves, but in fact, the entire divine feminine, the entire feminine energy to as back as you can really go, which basically means that our cellular life as an egg begins in the womb of our grandmother, right? So we are healing ourselves, we are healing our mother, we are healing our grandmother. And while we heal our eggs, we heal our womb, we are healing the generations to come as well. You are actually a pattern breaker. You are actually somebody who has incepted a curiosity towards a fertility, opportunities, and God knows what else will come out of this portal with the kind of work and information which, if you really stay concentrated on and stay patient with, you will take back from here and for a lot more that we have to offer. So anybody in the forum, did you know this? That while you work on yourself, you're actually not just healing yourself, but the generations past and later. And it's not just esoteric, it's not just energetic, it is basically science, like it has been proven. Do raise your hands or type in the Telegram group. It's best to stay interactive, as I said, because these prompts are really helping you. 1 second. It includes everybody, whoever you would be working on today and in the future to come. You are actually working for the entire feminine energy of your clan. And not just that, because about it, the primordial woman, everybody came from there. So you are basically, it's almost like, and then when I move ahead, you will see it's almost like a wave of healing, a wave of awareness, a wave of energy, which goes to and fro. What I mean to say is that it's not just, how it is in the energetic world, in the spiritual world. We speak a lot about trauma, a lot about what needs to be released. And yes, I agree, it is relevant also. But what about the wisdom? What about the wisdom of our past generations, of our grandmothers, grandmothers? They have seen a time that we haven't seen today. They have seen a time when there were no distractions as we face today. So this work that we do is actually a work of not just release, but also connection. So that not only are we helping each other to release what needs to be released, but we also call upon the wisdom of what they knew, which we would love to know and shine through. Okay, great. Let's move ahead. Okay, so this is as I said, that I use pictures and music, etc., to ensure that what we share over here, it stays with you. It's not just one of those seminars which you come and attend and then you forget. So here is a picture. Okay, let your senses work. Please type in the Telegram group when you see this picture. What is it that comes to your mind? No answer is a wrong answer. No answer is, don't be ashamed. This is a very safe space and we are here to connect and to grow from here. So what do you see in the picture? What is it that comes to your mind? Okay, natural beauty, womb, of course, vagina. Great, right? So what you see right in front of you is the fruits. Yes, they're fruits. The orange one is, one is papaya, the other is melon, and then there is orange. Now, what I want you to see is none of the fruits is ashamed of its seeds, of its potential. And which is the reason why all of us enjoy it completely. It spurts and it grows with its juices. But due to circumstantially or due to generations, females or we women have been made to feel very, very ashamed. Just give me a second. Somebody is, yeah, I think this should be better. Okay. Yeah, I was saying that we have been made to feel ashamed of these seeds inside us, of this. Does it not look like a gate is opening, like a portal is opening, and I will make you see how that happens. And females, this rides within you. The potential of the fruit, the juiciness of the fruit. What does juiciness really mean? It means the sensuality that filled with, filled with warmth and filled with opportunities, that which pours out, that which creates our aura, and that which creates the attraction within us. And by attraction, I don't mean only the attraction of how you look. I mean the attraction of your after sense, the scent that you leave with others, the fullness, the ripeness that you leave with others, that lays latent within you. This is your power. Now, tell me one more thing. We have understood that this lies within us, and going further, we will see more of it. But tell me that one thing, maybe towards your right, what is it that you see around that particular shape, that vaginal shape? And which I will tell you how it resides within us as well, and how we are going to connect with it today. Seeds. Yes, somebody said seeds. Exactly. Now tell me, women, have you ever taken the opportunity of going, we stay in the day and age of the internet, on going on the net and seeing that how do ovaries look? Females, ovary look just like this. Ovaries are our seeds of opportunities. Ovaries are the ones where the eggs reside, and which is where our opportunities reside. Now, one myth that I today want to break for all of us women over here, so that we connect even more with our divinity, is that our womb, that our ovaries and our eggs are not just a portal to give birth to a baby. Yes, it is. And that is our divine etheric right as well. But however, it is a divine etheric opportunity to give birth to anything that we want to create in our life, to any manifestation that we want. In fact, if you would go to the ancient scriptures, you would see that how creation in itself was the responsibility of the Shakti, of Parvati, of Durga. Those were the goddesses. The feminine power was bringing about energy, was bringing about life into this world. And that seed resides within us as well. So are you excited about going ahead and knowing more about this potential, unraveling your own potential layer by layer? Type into the comment section and show me some Shakti, show me some energies, give me a thumbs up or say, yay, we are enjoying it. Okay. Yes. Excellent. Thank you. Again, as I said, I would like to remind you that wherever I'm asking or prompting you to say something or look at something, well, I'm not speaking to you. I am speaking to your subconscious mind so that you all have maximum takeaway from here. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, let's move ahead. So, does anybody know who she is? What is it? What do you think? What I'm showing you on this screen, what do you think that is? Also, what was the first thing which came to your mind? I understand this is a safe space, but tell me, divine goddesses, if you were to see this at a public platform, how comfortable will you be in connecting to her energy? And it's okay to accept it today. It's also okay to realize that, yes, Neha, I'm very comfortable with it. Everything, all answers of all that you feel is very valid. So let me know when you see this on the screen, one, who do you think that is? And two, if you see this on a public platform, will you be comfortable in vibing with this energy? Okay, very comfortable, fully comfortable. Exactly. Yes. Right. I hear you. I hear you. So you see, we are getting mixed responses. Now, this is goddess Lajja Gauri. She is she is the one who our ancients used to worship. And she was also the goddess of, she had this Sthapana Shakti. Sthapana Shakti means she was basically the goddess of fertility. And when our ancients were praying to her, or were, praying in such a manner to invoke her, they were doing it in a gathering, because we come from ancients who were staying in tribes. They were vibing together. In fact, you would see the importance of coming together as a group as we go further as well. And whether you be male, whether you be female, whether you be any gender, they were coming together and they were invoking her Shakti, the Shakti of Sthapana Gauri, the Shakti of, later they called her Lajja Gauri, because the patriarchy set in, and suddenly being a woman was not powerful enough. But she is the one who is unabashed, who is divinely feminine, who knows what she brings to the table, and she is absolutely beautiful about it as well. She is the goddess of opportunities. And while you get this replay later, or I encourage you to go on the net after this, download her picture and meditate on her every day. Specifically, if you are facing some stuck energy in your life, or if you have some concerns with intimacy, fertility, she is the goddess of fertility, and we have lost our connection with her. We have gone to a stage where where something has happened to our eyes, some lust has taken over, where we want to clothe every goddess that we see. But whereas if you look at the ancient wisdom, it was pretty evident that how we were connected more to the Shakti rather than the human form of it. So this, my friends, for you is Sri Sthapana Shakti, Sri Lajja Gauri. Take a second, look at her, and let her energies vibe in. And at this note, I would also like to take the divine blessings of this goddess of fertility, of this Sthapana Shakti, of Jai Ma, to make us go ahead and let us invoke our womb energy. Take your right hand, please put it below your navel. Make her visualize that she is setting inside you. Maybe she is supple. Maybe she is really wanting to connect with your own divine goddess. And today, let's do her sthapana. Let's invoke her inside of us. Let ourselves be reminded that she resides in our womb, because she once resided in the womb of our feminine lineage. So take a deep breath in, invite her in, and a deep breath out. We will do this one more time. Take a deep breath in, invite her in, and a deep breath out. Thank you. Thank you for settling this in. Thank you for inviting her. Thank you for her to make a space within us today. Okay, let's move ahead. So is the pace okay with you all? Are you understanding what we are saying? Have you been able to invoke Sri Lajja Gauri within you? Got goosebumps. Yes, beautiful. Thank you, ma'am. Let's move ahead. Okay, now I'm going to play a video for you. Ensure that you're in a safe space. This wouldn't necessarily require you to meditate on it, but I want you to just focus. Remember, as I said, whatever I have presented over here is speaking to your mind, to your subconscious mind. So just focus on what's happening in this video. And after that, I will speak and I would want you to focus again. But before that, focus and see what is it that speaks to you. Okay? I'll play this once more. Now, what I want you to notice next is that while these flowers were blooming, there was some divine intelligence that these flowers had, that which petal is going to bloom after which petal. It was almost as if there was a flow, and that flow was something which nobody was telling them. Nobody was coming and controlling it. Nobody was telling the other petal, hey, why don't you flow? It's your time. Nobody was knocking. The flower surrendered to this divine intelligence. The flower surrendered to the flow of this divine Shakti. The flower surrendered to the intelligence of the universe, where somehow it just knew that this layer of petal comes first, and then the other layer comes, and then the other layer comes. Now just imagine if the innermost layer would have tried to come out with thinking, why is it not my time yet? Why is the outermost layer coming first and not me? The flower would have gone dead, because the petal, first of all, they would have tried to open up. They wouldn't have been able to open up because the other levels are not yet open. And second of all, if they would have tried a lot more, the flower would have been wilted, because the entire energy would have been utilized at a stage where it was not its time. So now with this information, I would wish for you, or I will encourage you to watch this video once again. Right? So now what happens in our life and how that this is connected to our womb is that a lot of times, we women have been trained to compare ourselves to people around ourselves, to compare ourselves maybe with other women, because there was a time in ancient history where survival of a woman depended upon how much are they desired by someone else. And therefore, we actually lost the connection with this divine flow within us. And we started to go more towards the masculine energy of stop being one of those who is ready to receive, to start being one of those who got very, very aggressive about and resistant about why aren't things happening the way I want them to happen. Whereas the divine feminine energy is actually supposed to go with the natural flow, and it doesn't mean that you stop being a go-getter, because today we live in the day and age of the corporate culture. I mean, if you don't know, I myself have worked for 15 years in intense sales environment in the corporates. I was in media, and before that I was in hospitality. So my message would never be that you're a woman and keep sitting and don't do anything. No. But what I want you to know today, and which is what when I included in my life, I saw, is that as a woman, we are the natural receivers of this universe. And if we connect with this Shakti and the power within our womb, which currently is layered with a lot of these shadow emotions, which have been systematically trained to us by what we see, by what is being told to us, by what we touch, by how capitalism has come into picture. And somehow it's only about having a baby, and which is also a beautiful experience. But however, that is not just the thing which women were here for. In fact, let me also tell you, the womb inside us, my ladies, is not more than the size of an apricot. So you see, it's almost the size of, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's almost the size of the bud, if you see in this. It's the size of this bud. But when it is brimming with opportunities, just like this flower, when it blooms out, our womb has the capacity, the flexibility to increase in size 10 times or more. That is exactly how we are able to have babies inside this apricot sized womb that we have, this apricot sized organ that we have inside us, one of the most magical organs that we have within us. And what I want you to take from there is that that is exactly how much potential you have. If you think today that on a scale of 1 to 10, your potential is 2 or 5 or even 10, what I am telling you further is that by tapping into this internal portal of yours, you have the potential of increasing that level of opportunities into 10. So if you operate in the world with that power, if you deepen that connection within you by coming into awareness of it, by doing certain things that we will advise you to do today, you have the power in you to expand everything 10 times. In fact, in the ancient culture, be it Indian, be it any other, it was said that whatever bounties the man was going around doing their shit in the world, and whatever bounties that they were getting back home, it was they used to just immediately give it to the woman, whether it be food, whether it be money, whether it be any resources. And it was believed that whatever you keep in the hand of your woman, she will expand it 10 times. She will expand those resources 10 times. And such things, such rituals are till today followed in certain, at least Indian cultures I know of, because I was born and brought up in India. Being one side a Jaini, I know that in Jainism, this culture is still followed. And if you yourself, what you can try it, try doing this with me. So the right hand is the receiving hand, which is the masculine hand, and the left hand, the right hand is the giving hand, which is the masculine hand, and the left hand is the receiving hand. So whenever you get your, let's say, first paycheck, or whenever you want something to expand, let's say gold, take it from your left and put it on your right to make it expand. Okay. Our left side, the feminine side, has the power of expansion, just as this flower has the power of expansion. So connect with this expansive energy today. That's your potential. That's your potential, ladies. So how do you feel about knowing that you have this internal power just by connecting with this internal strength, internal organ, what we are going to do today, womb healing? How does that make you feel? Did you know this before? Okay. So this is what I want you to see further, that currently you have this portal within you. You have your womb energy within you, an egg bursting with opportunities. But maybe due to this snake, which is the snake of shame, the snake of trauma, also this, because women are natural absorbers and observers. Maybe you were born and brought up in a beautiful environment. However, with the exposure to what you see around yourself, you could have or through what had happened in your generations, which you are probably not even aware of. If you're feeling some stuck energy, you have the potential, or today, what we are going to do is we are going to crack open such that the serenity of it, such that your elixir, which you're going to see now, your elixir flows out and your inner fertility starts speaking to you. Now, for some of us, it has been suppressed for so long that it has even led to certain hormonal issues, such as PCOD and PCOS, such as irregular periods. Now, in this work, what I have seen over a period of time is that, of course, because here we are speaking about an emotional thing or an energetic thing which has now manifested itself in the physical, and now it depends from person to person how much time does it take, or how, to what extent has it gone there. But remember what we saw in the beginning, that when you start healing on yourself, you're not just beginning that healing for you, you're healing the generations which have gone and the generations which are to come. Now one might ask that what if we do not have a child? Well, as I mentioned, even if you don't have child, you still want opportunities in your life. You still want that internal power. And not just that, also see that when it comes to a human existence, today we are human, but at your soul level, you might have certain imprints because of which you have those fixed karmas where maybe the child is not a possibility, or maybe you have crossed that age. But if you heal yourself today, you will be working at a soul level for what is to come from you in future, whether you be a human, whether you don't be a human. It is not just about giving birth to a child. It is actually also about giving birth to yourself, because we ourselves are fractal human beings, which means that I know as a human woman, we have been made to believe that as long as we are here, we are to give birth to a child. But maybe today we are a woman, tomorrow we could be somewhere else, in some other life we could be someone else. So when we begin our healing today, we are working for our inceptions for future as well. And through what we are going to put out there in the universe while we are existing in this human life, it's going to affect not just you, and forget about your future lifetimes, but people around you. You see, we just saw that how the womb has the woman has the energy of expanding things 10 times, which is one of the main reasons why all the Pandavas were so excited to have property with them. Okay, so forget, even if for the time being we stop tapping onto that desirability factor, but just from the point of view of living a thriving life in our now, whether it be for a baby, whether it be for an opportunity, whether it be for a certain other creation from our life. So raise your hand and let me know, for whatever the case be, would you want to release this elixir within you? You can raise your hands or you can type in the Telegram group. Excellent. Awesome. I see you. I see all the raised hands. I see all of you ready to crack open and meet your limitless opportunities. Beautiful. Excellent. So let's move ahead. But before I move ahead, I would like to just absorb this picture of the cracked egg and visualize that in the area below your navel. Just visualize this in the area below your navel and visualize this elixir coming out of that, as if all those shackles, shame, etc. you've removed intentionally, and this elixir of opportunities is coming out of you. You know how it is? I don't know about you, but while I was growing up, I used to even hear such things as if how or what fluids were coming out of our divine portal was supposed to be felt ashamed of, right? I mean, if you're not aware, I would like you to know that the fluid, that vagina is acidic. So it is supposed to leave some marks on what we wear. Sorry. And therefore it is very, very, and we are made to feel actually ashamed at so many levels, that we are actually made to feel ashamed of our elixir. are powerful elixirs. Sometimes it's the periods which we are made to go into isolation for. There are reasons why that isolation should happen, but those reasons are powerful. They are not disempowering, which we are going to discuss in future as well. But today, I just want you to enjoy this elixir, to connect with this magical elixir inside you, this magical light within you. Just look at it. Yes, it is sometimes as simple as absorbing it through your eyes. I'm going to give you 1 minute or maybe less, 10 seconds. Just look at it for 10 seconds because that's your potential. That is what resides within you. Maybe currently you are in this stage where it is tied by all that limit that has been put. The other picture just literally looks like a limit. And that is the reason why I chose it and I put it out there. And I want you to move. I will encourage you and I'll show you the way to move towards this limitless opportunities. Okay. So if you've seen it, raise your hands. Okay. Excellent. I see. I see you, Goddess. Great. Let's move ahead. Now, we spoke about Lajja Gauri or Sthapana Shakti in the beginning. Now, I'm sure you would have all heard of such stories as well, and especially if, and no, not just in India, everywhere it has happened, that that we have these stories of the ancients, especially the rishis, going into caves and going into gufas to meditate. Now, I want you to just look at the picture that I'm showing to you. What do you think this looks like as well? And which will take us to what really were the ancients, where were they getting the wisdom from? What do you think? What does this look like? Okay, vagina, tunnel. Right. Yes. Yes. That is the vulva energy. That is the portal energy. That is exactly how our vulva, how our vagina looks like as well. What these rishis were tapping into was the ancient wisdom of the wisdom of the womb of Mother Earth. The wisdom of the womb of the Mother Earth. And when they used to go back over there, just as a child is born inside, or just as a child gestates inside a mother's womb, an opportunity gestates inside our own womb as well. It is the opportunity of us to go to ground zero, to take our senses in and to plant it in our womb and to make it multiply 10 times whenever we come back for this work. I wanted to make you see that how our ancients were not ashamed of it. Our ancients were doing exactly that. For them, they had to go to the jungles. For them, they had to find a divine place to do that. And it worked beautifully for them. We can use this tunnel ourselves internally, just with the power of our intentions and just with the power of our connection to our vagina, to our vulva, to our divine Shakti. Now, take a few seconds, divine goddesses, and speak these words with me. Close your eyes. Keep your hand on below your navel and say, my beautiful vagina. Some of you might feel ashamed while saying this. Some of you might feel as if it is funny or that it's very, very horrific. But if you've decided to go ahead with me, then see if you can do that. Because you see, why I'm making you do this is also because we are on the journey, we are on the path of not just release, but also connection. So is the way, I used to at times feel that is the way of release always supposed to be that I first remind people of the trauma and then make them relive that and then come to here? No, in my work, I have developed certain techniques due to my neurolinguistic programming, astrology, and ancient wisdom, where you don't need to keep going back to your trauma by certain intention settings, by certain words, by certain commands to your own brain. You can do this. Okay. So work with me here if you feel comfortable. So take your right hand and put it below your navel and say, my beautiful vagina. And keep breathing. My beautiful, amazing, dripping with elixir vulva. And maybe sometimes you can visualize Sthapana Shakti, Laja Gauri inside. And maybe sometimes you can visualize the first womb picture that I showed to you, which had flowers and the birds. So let's do this. My beautiful, elixir dripping portal of Shakti, my inner Shakti, my vulva, my power, my femininity. I am ready to connect with you, and I see you, and I establish you. And today, through me, I invoke all my previous generations, which made where I was home, who cherished me, not even knowing that I was there. Thank you, my beautiful feminine lineage. I call upon your wisdom. I call upon your blessing to heal me today and to connect me with my divine energy. Oh yes, my beautiful vulva, my beautiful vagina. Okay. So how did you feel about it? Connecting with your generations, connecting with your beautiful portal, connecting with your internal elixir, where you did not have to revisit your trauma, where you did not have to revisit the trauma of your feminine generations. Awareness is good because it is to know that what resides within or what might block you. But then we don't need to keep going back to it again and again, right? Great. So let's move ahead. Okay. Now, so remember the egg that I showed to you? I wanted that for you to connect with. I don't know if you're aware of it. We learned it in geography while we were growing up, that the delta, you see the place from where, which is the origin of the rivers, that place is called delta. And that place is the most moist and the most fertile place. I specifically chose certain pictures of the most fertile deltas. Please tell me, have a look at it and let me know, what does this remind you of? What do these pictures make you imagine? What does it look like? Roots? Okay, yes. Tree roots, yes. That's an amazing answer. Tree roots, flow of opportunities and emotions, absolutely. Roots, arteries and veins and roots, yes, absolutely. All of that. All of that. And if you look at this picture, the picture on your right hand side, which has water in it as well, this is exactly the shape of our vulva, of our opportunities as well. So what, and as without, so within, as you would see outside of you, we are made as a reflection of what is outside of us. Where the fertility happens outside, exactly that is where fertility happens inside. What does fertility even mean? Fertility means the option or the opportunity of growth. It means an option or an opportunity to expand, to give birth, to, it's almost as if, when the storm comes and there is rain, the freshness that you feel the next day, the beautiful air that you want to exhale the next day. And this is that part of your body, this fertility of yours, that over a period of time we have been made to feel ashamed of. I mean, tell me, all of you goddesses out there, in a day, tell me, you touch your eyes, you touch your nose, you touch your mouth, we touch our hair, we touch our neck, we touch our chest, we touch our stomach, maybe. How many of us are connected to our vulva? How many of us even know the shape of our vulva, the color of our vulva? How many times we love to see our face in the mirror when I was getting ready, I had to look at my face because I had to look presentable, right? But how many of us, I'm not saying regularly, but even once, connect with the shape of a vulva? Do you know how it looks like? Not really, right? We don't know. I've worked so far with 500 plus women, and yes, there are many out there who are connected with it as well. But in my experience, I have seen that a lot of us forget about looking at someone else. I mean, that's absolutely not acceptable in a lot of cultures, but we haven't even looked at our own vulva. We are not even connected with our own sense of sensuality and movement and sexuality, right? And today I want you to see that how just connecting with it. I have had people ladies, women working with me, where I had encouraged them to connect with this portal of fertility just by looking at it in the mirror. And they've got back to me saying that, Neha, I started to cry. And that, Neha, so far I used to feel ashamed of doing that. Thanks for validating it. Thanks for making me connect with it. The power resides here. And if you, and as you would see ahead, I would show you that how this is, there is a shape that I'm going to speak about, which is the shape of expansion. By the way, all of you all stay tuned. There's a lot more coming. And in fact, towards the end of this entire masterclass, I'm going to give you all a manifestation hack as well. You all have done it at some point or the other, but I'm going to give it a twist of what I do best, which is combining neuro-linguistic programming and ancient wisdom in it. So there's a lot more to come. So stay tuned. So you see that delta fertility outside. We go to rivers. Most of us, whichever culture we belong to, we all know of some holy river, right? We all, there in our culture, there is some story of a holy river. Of course, in my culture, in ancient Indian culture, we are very well connected with it. But every other culture also has some river flowing by where if they are not praying to it, but they know that in some way it is very divine, in some way it is very holy and powerful. So what is that? Where is it coming from? This is the origin for it, the delta. We are the origin of the flow in our life, in our family. And which is what, again, I would say that often when women ask me that, Neha, is it still relevant if I have hit menopause? Or is it still relevant if I have certain hormonal issues which have been carried on maybe through generations or others? My answer is absolutely yes, goddesses. Because whatever has happened to you doesn't need to pass on, one. And two, what if you connect with that flow and you break that pattern? And maybe you do or don't see immediate results. But because that depends from person to person and how hardwired it is within you. But what if you take it in you to change it from you or through you for your past generations and the generations to come? That is the opportunity that we are going to almost like include in our life today with this awareness and with what more is to come. And I would in fact suggest that pass it on to others, to other women as well. You know, in the ancient times, there was this group mentality that people had. And often I am asked that, Neha, what if I want to do a one-on-one group session? And to be very honest, that's how I began doing womb healing sessions. But there was this one time when I did a group session, and oh my God, oh my goddess, in fact, oh my goddess, the energy of bringing together a group, of sharing their unique personalities, their unique energies. One person working on breaking a pattern. Imagine that into how many people are there right now? 77. Imagine 77 feminine goddesses, 77 goddesses coming together and helping each other energetically or by spoken words to break those patterns. What do you think is better? One-on-one or group? Of course, each has its own pros and cons, but when I was discussing it with Mystic Lotus, and I was like, I have seen the miracles of a group energy coming together, and let's do it in it. Right? That's what the ancient women used to do. That the group energy gives an opportunity of syncing in energies together. So almost everybody in that particular tribe or village, every woman used to have their periods at the same time. So they used to create this divine hut where they will all get together and they will rest, or they will have rituals around the menstruation. And so over a period of, and men used to in fact stay outside and pray because at that time their potency and their connection with the lunar energy was very, very strong. And as we go ahead, I have an opportunity for you too today to bring together that group and connect with that lunar energy. So stay tuned for that. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, what do you think this is? And also, before I move ahead, I want to tell you that this is within you. So what do you think this looks like? Okay. So this, ladies, is our vocal cord. And what I want you to see is focus on its shape. The reason why I wanted you to see the exact actual vocal cord is because I want to speak a little about this Shakti and how it is connected with our womb energy, and specifically the shape that you see here in the middle. Let's move ahead. So, as without, so within, right? So we saw that there was this almond shape which is going around in nature. And wherever this almond shape or the downward or an upward triangle is there, that is the potential of fertility, that is the potential of opportunities, and that lies within various other parts of our body as well. But we have definitely seen how it is the vulva. But what I want you to see is it is there in our vocal cords as well. And our vulva, the Shakti of our womb and our vocal cord is connected. So many a times I have noticed for those ladies who are not able to speak their truth or have a concern with their jaw, like a jammed jaw or something, they have issues in their pelvic area as well. Basically, the circuit or the connection between their root sacral chakra and the throat chakra is not there. So what they are doing is that they are internalizing all their emotions, they're taking in, they're absorbing in, and not finding a way to release it, not finding a way to speak it out, not finding a way to almost giving it back to the universe, be it in terms of positive, be it in terms of not so positive. They lose their Shakti, they lose their energy. And haven't we also heard that whatever we speak creates? That's exactly the idea on which spells were based on, or mantras are based on, that when you speak them out, they get created. And you know why that is happening? It is, tell me, this almond shape, this shape in the middle, where else do you see it in your body? So we have seen vocal cord, we know the vulva. Where else do you see it in your body? Maybe you can have a look in the mirror for a second or open your cameras for a second. And this is one of the reasons why where I'm so encouraging you to see things, to speak things. Yes, you're right. You would see this shape, the almond shape in the eyes, the lips. We've seen the vocal cords, the pineal gland. Through all of these portals of ours, we need to create a connection back to our womb, because this is what is energizing them, so that we become this thriving energy of creation, this thriving energy of power, wherein we just sit, imagine, and it happens. Okay. Now, if it is true that we just need to sit, imagine, and it happens, it is also important to note. Okay.
Periods are coming regular.
Sorry. Before that, because we did speak about certain things as menstruation and certain things as PCOD, PCOS, and certain things as I did speak about the vocal energy. There was this is somebody who's been working with me on womb healing, and just listen carefully of her experience on how what difference did this entire womb healing brought to her life. So yeah.
Periods are coming regularly. My anxiety went down. Thirdly, what exactly happened is when we connected, at least when I connected with my woman that I would call, I started coming across situations where I was wanting to express myself. And I realized a lot of in my past, I would not express myself and I'll store all the emotions within me. But even if I didn't want to, I came across situations where I wanted to express myself. And now I'm so open to expressing my emotions through my words or behavior, all in a healthy manner. That was something, a beautiful change that happened with me after those sessions. So yeah, that was my experience. And not only that, Neha, I want to add this to you. I, in my work, be it office or my, the reading side, both the places I got appreciated while I was expressing myself, for expressing myself. So that was another plus. Yeah. And it gave me an opportunity to unravel even more what is there inside me, that requires healing, and that is needing my attention. So yeah, it was an amazing experience. And it was just, I don't know how it worked. You offered it and, I needed it at the same time. So it was like meant to be.
What I want you to see here is the beauty of expression. It is the beauty when the womb energy starts operating through you, and it starts pumping energy to your other creation portals. For example, here was a woman who was facing issues in terms of her periods, which not only became a lot more regular. However, that is not even my focus. But the focus here was that how she started to use that energy, activate her divine feminine power, and speak the words that she was to speak, and was able to express. And that was noticed by people around her in her work environment. In fact, she was the one who was facing issues where in the meetings she was not able to put her point across, even though it was there in her mind and the ideas were really good. But she told me that with the activation of that inner divine feminine, working on it, she was able to activate her throat chakra as well. And because over a period of time, she started to loosen up in all these areas, started to release, her periods automatically became normal. Of course, everybody's story could be different, but this was something very powerful I thought that I should share with you, because working on the womb does not affect any one area of your life. You see, because often I'm asked that, why should I do this? It's not just so that of course, it is also like hormonally balancing yourself is a very important part of our life. Absolutely. I'm not taking away its importance. But just working on it brings about this dominoes effect. Just like a flower blooms, you see, from one petal to the other to the other. It's like a dominoes effect that it affects other areas of your life as well, which you had not even thought that if I do this, that if I activate it, this opportunity can come to me. Maybe you don't even know it right now, because like a closed bud, those opportunities are closed to you. like that closed egg. The opportunity is closed to you. And today we are going to crack open it so that that elixir flows out just as it did for her. Okay, so are you excited to know what else is to come here? And does this make you aware on a scale of 0 to 10, a little more, maybe a 7 or an 8 to the thriving energy of your womb? You can maybe raise your hands over here. Okay, great, good to know. Excellent, loving it, loving the vibe, loving the group vibe, girls. See, that's the energy of the group coming together. Okay, let's move ahead. Okay, now what do you see here? What do you see here? What I want you to notice is, so by the way, these are our pelvic bones. Okay, these are our pelvic bones. Actually, it's the same for male, women, male, female, everybody. So this is a pelvic bone area. Now, where I'm moving just have a look above above the hollows that you see. I'm not sure if you're able to see where I'm moving my arrow. Do you see how it's making a cup? Are you able to see the arrow? Yeah. Do you see how it's making a cup? This cup. This is where our womb resides. And this is our internal cup. And whatever is stored over here is what comes out. You see, there was a story which I once heard that in a restaurant, there was somebody who was carrying a cup of coffee and somebody bumped into that person. The cup fell. Now, what do you think came out of the cup? What spilled out of the cup? Exactly. Coffee. Coffee spilled out of the cup. Why? Because it was coffee which was inside the cup. Similarly, whatever we store in our internal cup when we are triggered, when there is an outside stimulant which happens, what comes out of us is exactly what is there in our cup. So if there is stuck energy in our cup, we feel stuck. But we are somehow trained to believe that someone else is doing it to us. And if there is anger which is stored in our cup due to unspoken words, due to maybe centuries or generations of anger which is stored over here, will come out. Maybe there is something that you would see on TV and there is no reason that you would find that why does it bring about anxiety in me? It's not even affecting me. Why does it bring about anger in me? It's not even affecting me. Well, that is because through generations, it's stored inside your cup. And this cup is divine. This is the seat of your power. This is literally the seat, sorry. This is the area of your body which you use to sit. This is the throne. How do I say this is your throne. This is the one on which you sit. This is the throne of your body. So what is stored inside this cup of yours? When you are triggered, when you are stimulated, it will come out. So if there is compassion over there for certain things, compassion will come out. And which is why, what I have done systematically, which we'll come to soon, is that we will see that how we can connect back to this cup of ours and release without, I think one thing that I would like to emphasize here, which I did not have an access to when I was working on my womb energy, was that, as I said earlier, that how do I give divine goddesses an opportunity to release, and not just release, also to connect to the divine wisdom, but not to revisit the trauma, not to put the pressure of, oh, do you remember what happened with your generations? Because whenever we feel trauma, ladies, our brain goes on to a survival mode. It goes on a fight or flight mode. And when it does go on a fight or flight mode, it produces cortisol, because that is its intelligence, which is what used to happen when we were in dangerous environments a long time back. Our ancestors were. But today, because of so many distractions and so many stimulants around us, imagine if we keep producing that cortisol because the brain thinks that is saving us. And not just that, I again take you on a journey to revisit that trauma such that those cortisols are being produced, how am I helping? How am I helping the cause of me or the others? So, which is why what is to come in future in this masterclass is what you would see that I have systematically, created certain things such that you also connect with it just as you did through your senses, which is your eyes right now, and through the video that we saw, which is also the music that you saw, the blooming that you saw, and you don't have to revisit that. So, do you think that is something which which you would be interested in knowing more of, or doing for your future work as well? So, this is the cup that we need to work on. This is the cup which is where our power resides, and this is the cup which is where our elixir resides, which is what we are going to connect with today, or which is from where we're going to release today. Okay, now one more thing that I want you to see is this. So this is a beautiful picture which was created by an artist. And before I move ahead, I want you to see that this is just as each of us portal, each of us yoni is unique, so are we unique. Somehow we are living in a culture where we are made to believe that all of us should look the same, that all of us should have a beautiful, beautifully smelling yoni. The yoni should be this. I mean, it's like almost like others are telling us how our internal portal should look like, how our internal portal should be. But with this picture, I want you to see that just how every flower looks different, even if it is of the same kind, still every flower looks different. You are unique. Your yoni is unique. Don't let anyone tell you that it should be smelling better, or it should be this, or it should be that shape, or it should be this. This is your power. Your uniqueness is your power. There is no one standardization for you. So are you today ready to claim that power?